One more email before we get to Video Game 20 questions. This comes from David. He says, hello, Damon, Justin, and the other two.
Oh, man, I like this new trend.
This is David from Monterrey, Mexico. Love the show. It's my favorite internet show by far. First time writing in. So, the trophy and achievement system, does it have to be worthless? Sure, us completionists may like it. They give incentive to replay games, play games a certain way. They satisfy that need of completion some of us have. But in the big picture of things, gamers gain no real benefit from the intense hours of grinding, exploring, crafting, collecting, replaying.
Sure.
So I got an idea.
Ooh.
I would like to hear your opinions on how viable it is. What if PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live members would gain online credit, however small, for each trophy or achievement they acquire? At first I thought they hadn't already done this because they would lose a lot of profit from all the online credit they would give. But I think that if done correctly, it could be an incentive for gamers to buy more games, play them more than they would normally do, and play downloadable content expansions. All of these would mean more revenue to the gaming industry in general, also reward gamers who invest more money and time on games. Would this work? Am I delusional?
Doesn't Xbox do this? Don't they have a reward?
So Xbox has Xbox Live rewards.
Yep.
They give you rewards for completing surveys, for spending money in the store, and for completing like missions that are given to the community. It's not directly for earning achievements.
Oh, I thought it was gamer. I thought it was tied to
But we had this conversation because Nintendo there was a rumor about them doing that when they bring back Club Nintendo, and that they want to make it. Maybe it wasn't even a rumor. I can't remember now. But we talked about it in GameScoop, and it was about how you could be able to do stuff in games, and then you get credit for purchasing digital games.
Yeah, just the practical concern is that people would rent 100 games to get free credit.
Right.
But I guess I don't know. Like it's always like if you're that dedicated to spend 1,000 hours to get $50 in free credit, it's like, well, okay, like you earned your free game, dude. Like, well done. But
what if though? You could spend your gamer score, so you actually lose part of your gamer score for credit in the stores.
Nobody would do that.
I like that. Well, I mean that's the.
But maybe people that didn't care as much would do that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
that's interesting.
My gamer score isn't super important to me, so if I could spend some of it to get half off a game,
I feel like there's too many, like to directly say, okay, your 20,000 gamer score is worth $100 in Xbox credit. I think there's too many ways to game that system or get around it. Like I said, renting games, or people might want to release games like where there's not an indie channel anymore, but if there was some equivalent of that where it's like free gamer score, 99 cents, buy our game, and we'll unlock all your achievements right away. And there's too many concerns for that. I like where his heart's at though, of making it more give you some value or some intrinsic thing. Like at the end of the year,
it's fun to be part of a club.
Yeah, at the end of the year, I like more the Club Nintendo suggestion of based on your gamer score, at the end of the year you can redeem it for a hat or a tote bag or something like that.
Yeah.
I think the big concern from where I stand with it is that
where you sit.
Yes, from where I'm sitting, this very seat. You snarky bastard. No, my big concern would be that if they do, if let's say they instate this, right, then that means that people are going to feel driven or incentivized to play deeper into games maybe than they normally do. Like, I don't know, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but it's some silly number like, any given game, like if it has a completion rate of like 30% or 40%.
Oh yeah, nobody beats games.
Like nobody beats games, right, exactly. Nobody beats games. It's a very, very low number. So that number obviously is going to naturally go up, but I feel like in an attempt to recoup their losses by giving out discounts and credit, they would suddenly want to find ways to monetize or create some kind of in-game marketing that kicks in later on in a game experience to find ways to make that back up. And I would rather not introduce that at all. Like I would rather, again, going back to our last discussion, I would rather just pay everything I have to pay now and not have to worry about how the company is going to make its money back during the experience. Like I hate in-game marketing and things like that. And I feel like this would just be like they would have no choice but to open up more to in-game marketing, I feel like, in the later stages of a game to make sure they're getting something back out of it.
Yeah, people would either put all their achievements at the front of a game to let people unlock them earlier, or put them all at the end to say, well, if you want to get your...
Right, exactly.
No one wants to be thinking about money when they're playing a game. That's the big problem with free-to-play games.
Yep, absolutely.
That's true.
I play a lot of them. I do think... who was the guy's name?
David.
David made maybe not a better point. I mean, an interesting point at the start where like achievements, if designed well, encourage you to play a game in new
Yes.
ways. It can
Yeah.
extend replay value, or they can be, crappy, tacked on. Beat chapter 1, beat chapter 2, kill 1,000 enemies. But like the Halo franchise, I think, is an example of some of the best achievement design in games, where like beat a level without jumping. Like, that's awesome. Like that's a fun challenge to try to figure out how that works. Just like neat stuff like that. It's the difference is night and day between games that really are thoughtful about it and aren't.
And it's also cool because it gives developers a way to kind of subtly educate players on other ways and other modes of play they might not be aware of. Like
Sure.
I can even imagine, like in a fighting game, I can imagine people being like, "All right, here's an achievement for you're knocked down. Like you wake up with a dragon punch and counter the your opponent's move that they were trying to do to you as you were waking up." Like, so some people don't even think like, oh, that's a thing I can do. I can do a special move right as I wake up, and it'll deter someone from trying to like attack me as I get up. Like a player who's new to fighting games might not even think about that, but a good achievement could cue people in kind of a subtle way. Hey, try this thing out that you've never tried before. Try that thing out that you've never tried before. And it kind of opens up. It can, if done right, and we've already seen some examples of it, like you said, Justin. Like it can actually expand players' understanding of like what they can do in a game and what's possible with the tool set they've been given, which I think is really rad.